4 o'clock in the morning, that rain looks like it could be turning over to snow. We could briefly see, again, some light snow possibly here in Denver. Any accumulation would be pretty light, about a ½ an inch to an inch, and most of that really just sticking to the grassy surfaces. That's the scene at 7:30, and then again by 9 o'clock. Again, the focus of this system is going to be to the north of us in Wyoming, but areas like Fort Collins and Greeley, you could be closer to around 1, maybe even 2 inches of snow. Again, a lot of it on the grass. By 7 o'clock Friday night, skies at that point start to clear. So 70 today, 46 for a high on Friday, 58 Saturday, then sunshine and 70 by Sunday. You gotta love this state. Traffic now. Jayson joins us, and you've got a pretty nasty accident out there.
We got accidents all over the place right now. We have the new one coming on I-70 right near Vasquez on the westbound side after Colorado Boulevard. This crash is down in the Denver Tech Center. It's southbound I-25 between Bellevue and Orchard. The left lane is fully blocked. This car, he was traveling, went into the wall, spun out, and now is facing the wrong direction. The wrecker is here to try to get him up and out of there, so hopefully that process won't take too long. The left lane is fully blocked, and now that we're getting more activity here, we are starting to see a backup from Bellevue getting down to Orchard, and this will get a little bit worse before it gets better. The other problem spot, take a look at the live CDOT cameras. All the rescue squad now has arrived here at this rollover crash. This is westbound 470 at Broadway, so part of the ramp is restricted there at Broadway, and now the right lane of westbound 470 at Broadway is also restricted. That's why we're seeing this slowdown. The eastbound side will also start to see a slowdown because they'll be looking at the flashing lights on the other side of the highway. The big story of the morning has been up into the foothills. Take a look at the map and you can see that this section of Highway 6 between Golden and 119 is open. This little section is the one that's closed down between I-70 and 119 for this rock slide. These were pictures of the rock slide that just a few moments ago up there on Highway 6. That's the big boy there. This was Tyler next to that big boy rock that was about the size of a car. You can use Central City Parkway as a way to get around it.
Lots going on. Thank you, Jayson. 7 is now taking a look at the
in the next couple days. So we'll have to see what happens with that. We're going to talk about what CDOT plans to do with these operational problems coming up a little bit later. In Boulder, Eric Lou for 7 News Now.
And Eric, I think most of the Metro commuters will have to deal with wet roadways rather than snowy roadways, at least from this storm. Want to point out an accident in the Denver Tech Center. You can see it right here. It's on the left shoulder. That's the southbound side of I-25 going between Bellevue and Orchard. So it is tucked out of the way, but still going to be a hazard and minimal delays at this point. Not even seeing traffic really back up coming down from Bellevue, but maybe an extra minute or two there. Take a look at the map, and I can show you the big story of the morning. It's going to be out to the west, where not this section of Highway 6 between Golden and 119, that is open. It's this little section between 119 and I-70 that's closed down for a rock slide, a significant rock slide. This was Trooper Jayson Sparks right there. He stands 5'10", and you can see him standing next to the real big boulder there. The way to get around it is either coming out of Golden to 119 or to use Central City Parkway over to Blackhawk Central City. To get a detail on the cleanup, we sent Tyler Lopez up there. He was first on scene taking a look at the cleanup efforts.
Jayson, yeah, this is just an incredible scene. They're really making some fast progress right now. I want to show you what CDOT is working on right now to remove these rocks. By our count, they've moved at least 1/3, maybe 2/3 of those rocks off of the road. We're told that they cannot put them into Clear Creek, so they have to physically lift them up as heavy as they are. We're told many of them are in the 2 to 3 ton range and move them down closer to Golden to get them off the road. Then they'll go through the process of inspecting the road to see if they can reopen it. This is what it looks like now, but take a look at what we found when we got here just before 5 o'clock. When that CDOT front end loader started removing these rocks, we saw at least 50 large rocks blocking both sides of US 6. It was a minefield of rocks, and we're told it was incredibly close and lucky that someone wasn't hurt. The State Patrol telling us someone was driving a private truck in this canyon. They hit a rock, popped a tire, and stopped. It was after that point that this massive rock slide came down from the hill, landing across the road. Had that vehicle been in this area, clearly the damage would have been tremendous. As we come back live now, you can see how close they're getting. You can also see a CDOT employee taking a closer look at that guardrail. Now, the way they're designed, these guardrails are supposed to take the impact from a vehicle. Look how bent and smashed that one is now. That appears to be the most amount of damage we've seen to the roadway itself. So we're not sure exactly when this road will reopen, but clearly CDOT is here trying to get that done, recognizing that at any point these rocks could fall. The State Patrol told us if you hear popping, you have to get out of here quickly. Reporting live, Tyler Lopez, 7 News Now.
Thank you, Tyler. We're entering day 3 of the government shutdown. Still no progress to tell you about. There was a meeting at the White House between the president and congressional leaders. It ended with nothing. No deal. This morning, the impact of the shutdown being felt across the country. Programs like Head Start, they're shutting down. Students staying home because the programs can't keep their doors.
Sorry. 30 seconds. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Straight live? Straight live. Sorry about that. And we're live on U.S. Highway 6. It is still closed after a rock slide around 2:30 this morning. Let's give you a look to check out the progress CDOT is making. Definitely making a lot of progress. As part of this hillside came down, we're just on the east side of Tunnel 5. Both sides of the road cleared. You can see CDOT crews taking a look at the guardrail. Just an enormous debris field of rocks. At least 50 large rocks were covering this road. But that front end loader, who got started about 4:45 when we got here, really making some serious progress moving some of these rocks. He estimates one of them was probably 5 to 6 tons. It was taller than me, taller than 6 feet. It's enormous. The damage to the road looks to be minimal. So the plan right now, we just got a new time estimate from CDOT and the State Patrol, is they want to try to clear these rocks, get them out of the way, clear the road to make sure there's no damage. They might be able to reopen this section of US 6 between Golden and I-70, perhaps in the next couple of hours. The complication to that is they also want to take a closer look at this rock face. And I can tell you, as the sun starts to come up slowly, we are definitely getting concerned by what we see from just the thoughts that you have when you realize that these massive rocks came down this morning. What's to prevent the other rocks from coming down? So geologists want to take a closer look in the daylight. If they feel it's safe, they will reopen the road. But that's the latest. No one hurt in this rock slide, and apparently it was a close call. There was a truck in this area that popped a tire just before the rest of the slide came down, I'm told. That person was not hurt, but called it in, and this is what CDOT found. They're making some significant progress, as we said. Could be a couple of hours before they reopen this section of the road. Reporting live along Clear Creek, Tyler Lopez, 7 News Now.
And if you need to get around it, it's real easy. Coming from Golden up to 119, that is open. So this section of Highway 6, Clear Creek, is open. It's this little section that's not. You could also use I-70 to Central City Parkway to get around it. We have other big trouble spots around the Metro Denver Drive. Take a look at the CDOT cameras here. As you saw a picture there of the rocks. This accident right here on the eastbound side of I-70 at Pecos. The right shoulder is tied up, but it's backing up traffic to well before Federal. This is the big one, an accident, a big one on I-70. It's the westbound side of I-70 after Havana. Most of the left side of the highway is blocked with traffic trickling by on just the right side. That's backing everything up to 225. And then we have that Denver Tech Center crash, which has some traffic backed up on southbound 25 between Bellevue and Orchard. Then the other rollover crash is down in the Highlands Ranch area. Air Tracker 7 is over the rollover on westbound 470 at the exit ramp to Broadway. Right lane of 470 is blocked. Part of the ramp is blocked. And we are seeing delays, unfortunately, both directions down there as well, Kelly.
Busy morning, Jason. Thank you. Another live look outside right now. A colder start to the day, and it's just the start of a day full of changes. You can see that cold front moving into the state, and we're talking about snow in the next 24 hours. So we want to get right to the 24/7 Weather Center. Lisa, you've been tracking this all morning.
Or the Weather Center. I like that better.
You know.
We've got style here in the Weather Center. 45 degrees right now here in Denver. Clear skies. It is beautiful, but again, a little cooler. We've got our 46 on Friday. Then we're back into the upper 50s Saturday. By Sunday, sunshine and 70s, so it's a pretty fast-moving system. Traffic now. Jason joins us. Not so fast on the roadways.
No, on I-70, another problem. Look at this. This is going to be on that westbound side of I-70 after Havana. They are finally clearing all lanes. You can see this is the last of the vehicles right here. 1, 2, 3 others are already on the right shoulder. So you have still the debris field here that people are going to drive through very slowly. Westbound I-70 after Havana, but at least lanes are now open, which is great news. And you can see on the eastbound side with all the activity, people are looking at it and slowing things down. Take a look at the overall at the CDOT cameras. You can see I-70 at Pecos. This is the other problem. An accident moved off to the right shoulder. Still very heavy from before Federal. We've also had problems down in the Denver Tech Center with that accident near Orchard. It is cleared out of the left lane, which is great news. And we do have all lanes open now on 470 and Broadway from the rollover crash that sits just ahead of the police car there. Quickly to the map where we have the other big trouble spot to the west where we have Highway 6, not the section between Golden and 119. That section is open. It's this little section between I-70 and 119 that is closed down for a rock slide, a monster rock slide. When the officers got there, this is what it looked like, and that cleanup continues. So use Highway 6 between 119 and Golden or Central City Parkway to avoid those closures this morning.
Busy morning, Jason. Thank you. Well, a really sad story developing in Tennessee this morning. Now at least 8 people are dead after a church bus collides. Ways are slowly starting to reopen. You can look at this view of Highway 34 between Greeley and Kersey. A 2-lane road now stretches over the floodwaters. You can see where the old highway was, and now only that 2-lane road.
We're on U.S. Highway 6 right now, and CDOT is definitely making some progress. They're in the process of trying to clear and clean the street. We're on the east side of Tunnel 5. A rock slide came down around 2:30. Massive boulders covering the road, but you can see most of those are out of the way now. They would like to try to reopen this road perhaps in the next hour or so. But take a look at what the scene looked like to us when we got here earlier this morning. At least 50 large boulders covering the road, including one taller than me, 5 to 6 tons, according to the front end loader who told us this was going to take a while to clean up, but he cleared this road fairly quickly. No one was hurt when it came down. Apparently it was a close call though. One of the issues they're going to be dealing with, it's tough to see through the smoke though as we come back live, is this guardrail. They want to repair the guardrail, so at some point they're going to have to close this road down to 1 lane in order to fix that guardrail, but that's after they reopen the road, and they're not going to do that until they take a much closer look with a geologist at this rock face to make sure that what they can see along this cliff bank is safe and won't come down again. They also told me that during the rains and the heavy flooding of last month, they had at least 15 rock slides along US 6. Definitely a concern, and they don't want to reopen this road too quickly. Let's go inside now to Jayson Luber.
And Tyler, I'll give you an alternate route on that in just a second. I want to show you some of the other problems, including on Air Tracker 7. Look at this significant backup on I-70. This is the traffic that's trying to come from Pena Boulevard all the way to the crash that's at Havana. Now move to the right shoulder, all lanes open, but it's a nasty jam. And take a look at the map, and you can see some of that heavy traffic from Pena Boulevard all the way to that accident, also affecting the northbound side there of I-225, trying to join with I-70. Other trouble spots, including I-70 and 6th Avenue. Take a look at the CDOT cameras for those two areas. One is this accident, brand new, car in the left lane, left shoulder, just had one moved off of the right shoulder. I'll move the camera to the 6th Avenue crash, which is going to be in the right shoulder between Knox Court and Federal. That's hanging up traffic all the way back to at least Wadsworth. Take a look at the map again. We have another trouble spot down to the south side where it's going to be on C470 at Broadway. The CDOT camera is there that shows us that the rollover crash has happened right in front of that police car. Lanes are open but still slow here, as well as on that eastbound side. And back to the map quickly where I can show you where that rock slide was. Now Highway 6 is open from Golden up to 119, but it is closed down in that little section between I-70 and 119. So either Central City Parkway or just running up from Golden will get you around that.
All right, lots to keep track of this morning.
Busy
Man,
morning.
stop crashing.
Yes.
We'll keep you posted throughout the morning on the traffic and the weather headed our way.